Twilight, you have begun a visit, said Spike. Who is it? asked Twilight. His name is Frostwind, said Spike. I know him, said Flash. He's a friend of mine from Cantlot, and he's a member of Stormwind's patrol, said Flash. Let him in, said Twilight. Spike allowed Frostwind to enter the room, and the others could see that he was exhausted and had a lot of wounds on his body. Frostwind, what has happened? Asked Flash. My patrol is trapped in Crystal Empire, said Frostwind. What do you mean? Asked Twilight. We managed to collect the information about Nightmare Moon's new host, but we wanted to be sure first before we reported back, and when we were about leaving, we were caught, but I managed to flee, said Frostwind. Who is Nightmare Moon's new host? Asked Rainbow Dash. It is Princess Cadance who is Nightmare Moon's, said Frostwind. Everybody was so shocked that they couldn't believe that Cadance was Nightmare Moon's new host. Twilight realized that her brother was trapped in Crystal Empire. What are we going to do now? Asked Fluttershy. Will you take us to enter the Empire and free everybody and stop Nightmare Moon? Said Twilight. But how then? The elements of harmony didn't work on her lately, said Rarity. If we do it now again, there is a risk that she will flee again, said Applejack. Your friend has a point, Twilight, said Flash. Twilight stood silent for a moment, thinking about what to do. She wants to save her brother and the Empire, but at the same time, she didn't know how. Frostwind, have you told Celestia about it yet? Asked Twilight. No, Princess Twilight, I have not read, said Frostwind. Spike, write a message to Celestia at once, said Twilight. Okay, said Spike. After a while, Twilight's response from Celestia and Twilight received the message. What did she wrote? Asked Rarity. She writes that she might know a way to stop Nightmare Moon, said Twilight. But we have to go to the castle too. In Everfree Forest, said Twilight. Why should we give us in there? Asked Applejack. In Celestia's old library, there should be a book containing powerful spells that could help us, said Twilight. Twilight looks at her friends, who are worried about the same time. I'm going to the council. I'll bring Applejack and Rainbow as support, said Twilight. What should we do in the meantime? Asked Rarity. You can take care of Frostwind's interests and look after Flurry meanwhile, said Twilight. We can do that, said Rarity. When are we going? Asked Applejack. Now at once, said Twilight. Twilight and Rainbow and Applejack left the castle at once. They crossed the Everfree Forest, and after a while they arrived to the castle. Once inside the castle, they went to the room, and Twilight immediately started searching the books for the right book. How long do you think you need? Asked Applejack. I don't know exactly. An hour maybe, said Twilight. Take the time you need, said Twilight. Applejack. Meanwhile, Twilight is looking through Celestia's old private library for the correct book. But she was almost finished when she saw a little blue book in the bookshelf. She took it and immediately read through it, and she opened her eyes and she found the right spell. But then, when she read it, she realized there was a reason for the spell. Have you found it? Asked Applejack. Yes, I have, said Twilight. Good, let's go back to Ponyville, said Rainbow Dash. I can teleport us there, said Twilight. Twilight used a teleport spell and teleported them back to her castle. The others were happy to see Twilight again. Well, did you find a book? Asked Fluttershy. Yes, I did, said Twilight. But you don't seem to be happy because of it, said Rarity. No, I picked up a thing with the magic spell, said Twilight. What did you discover? Asked Fluttershy. In order to use the spell, it is necessary to use almost up to one's life force to able to do it, said Twilight. What does it mean? Asked Rainbow Dash. That means whoever uses the spell will almost die, said Twilight. I will use this magic spell on Viper Moon, said Twilight. Her friend was completely shocked, staring at Twilight with fear in the eyes. No, Twilight, you cannot do it, let me do it, said Rarity. No, only Alicorn can use a spell, said Twilight. That's the only solution, said Twilight. We're going to Crystal Empire already tomorrow, said Twilight. But, Twilight, can we not go to our plan first? Asked Applejack. No, I'm going to challenge Viper Moon alone, said Twilight. But, Twilight, that's crazy, said Rarity. I already decided, said Twilight. Flash will stay here to take care of Flurry and Frostwind with Fluttershy and Rarity, said Twilight. We're going to accompany you, said Rarity. No, I will decide, said Twilight. Twilight left the room and went to her room. Her friends remained and were desperate, but they realized there was no point to interfering with Twilight about the matter. The next day, Twilight was waiting for Applejack and Rainbow to accompany her to Crystal Empire to stop Nightmare Moon. Are you ready? Asked Twilight. Yes, we are ready, said Applejack. Twilight used a teleport spell and teleported them all the way to Crystal Empire. They ended up just in front of the palace. Everything was quiet. The streets was empty. I don't like this, said Applejack. I agree with you, said Rainbow Dash. They looked around, but couldn't see any crystal points anywhere. The streets were so empty as they entered in a ghost town. Nightmare Moon, we're here to challenge you, screamed Twilight. Come on, show you, screamed Twilight. At first it's quiet. They looked around, but see nothing at all. Ha ha ha! So you're there to be here anyway, said Nightmare Moon. Show you, Nightmare Moon, said Twilight. I come to challenge you, said Twilight. Let's go then, said Nightmare Moon. They could see how a Nightmare Moon comes from a black smoke, and they could see it was Cadance. Let the princess go, or else, said Rainbow Dash. No, Rainbow, said Applejack. Why did you go to Cadance? Asked Twilight. I took her because she was the one who I saw whose mind was not so strong, said Nightmare Moon. I searched through Equestria for new hosts while I was getting new energy, but wherever I was looking, I found no alicorn or unicorn that was strong enough. Until I came to Crystal Empire, I found 3 possible targets: Shining Armor, Cadance, and Flurry Heart, said Nightmare Moon. Because Flurry is just a baby, and your brother's mind was too strong to control, said Nightmare Moon. But Cadance was the only one I could easily take over, but I chose to wait until I was strong enough to take over during the night when her mind was not so focused, said Nightmare Moon. Let her go right now, said Twilight. Enough talk. Now we will fight, and after I defeat you, so my revenge is complete, and then I will take over the rest of Equestria, said Nightmare Moon. Twilight and Nightmare Moon was fought by using their magic against each other, on the ground and the air. Twilight tried to protect herself with magic barriers and managed to dry off any way of Nightmare Moon's attacks. The fighting lasted long, While Applejack and Rainbow watched when they in the air, Twilight was getting exhausted but tried to wear out Nightmare Moon so she could use the magic spell on her. When Twilight had brought down Nightmare Moon to the ground, she got ready. Nightmare Moon saw that Twilight performed a magic spell. She thought she would make her final attack, but then Nightmare Moon was hit by a yellow beam from Twilight, and the light became so strong, so Rainbow and Applejack had to close their eyes. "No! It can't be possible!" screamed Nightmare Moon. After the light was gone, Rainbow and Applejack could see that Cadance herself again on the ground. They looked at Twilight, who stood up until she found the ground. "Twilight!" screamed Applejack. They ran to Twilight, who was unconscious on the ground. Rainbow ran to Cadance to shake her. "How is Cadance?" asked Applejack. "She's just unconscious," said Rainbow Dash. Applejack could feel that Twilight barely had a pulse, and she breathed very weakly. After a while, the Crystal Ponies came out from the houses. They were in a fear of Nightmare Moon. They helped Twilight and Cadance to a hospital. A week later, in the hospital, Twilight wakes up in the surroundings of flowers and cheer-up cards. She looks around and sees her friends in tears when she sees them. She asks what happened. Twilight was afraid. Applejack explained everything to Twilight. "How long was I unconscious?" asked Twilight. "A week," said Shining Armor. "1 week? That long time," said Twilight. "Any signs of Nightmare Moon?" asked Twilight. "No, she's gone for good," said Rarity. "That's good," said Twilight. Twilight was allowed to stay in the hospital a few days before she was released, but the doctor had told her that she had to be calm for a few days, and Twilight promised to keep calm. Afterwards, Cadance asked forgiveness to Twilight about the pain she caused, but Twilight had said it was not her fault. She couldn't control herself. Twilight forgives Cadance, and then the peace has returned to Crystal Empire. The Crystal Ponies had forgiven Cadance. Cadance felt a little disappointed that she had been taken over by Nightmare Moon, but her family made her to get back her self-esteem and made her believe herself again. Now, Equestria has got rid of one of its enemies for good.